here in Norway we have the problem of not being able to skate in the winter. I mean, now it's not a problem because skateboarding has grown as a sport, and then you have indoor skate complexes that allows you to skate and progress throughout the whole year. And that's been in the south, but in the north, where there's way fewer skaters, that's not the case. I mean, there we have garages. The more your grip tape gets ruined, the less ruined your shoes get. So that's also important to note. If you're upset that your grip tape get ruined or something, don't be upset. You save your shoes. Skateboarding in Norway, it allows you to really push your mental boundaries, because you're gonna be outside in the street and thinking, nah, it's not worth it. I'm going inside. It's cold. I'm gonna get hurt. I'm not motivated and all of this. So really, being in that situation will allow you to really see how much potential you have to build your own character. So you can become your own person. You can become a much stronger person from dealing with these harsh conditions, because harsh conditions, they will create strong people. All right, and strong people create unharsh conditions, and unharsh conditions make weak people. So then you have the same cycles. That's a little bit problematic for the next generation, so we need to always keep challenging ourselves. That's why it's good that we always get new challenges in life. Like if for example, if we solve the problem of being able to skate during the winter, let's say we learn to skate during the winter, then it will come a new problem. For example, that, well, you need to make Instagram parts instead of traditional video parts. You only have 1 month to film the video parts instead of 4 years to film the video parts. Or for example, you don't have to deal with the snow anymore because you have an inside skate complex, but now you have to deal with scooter kids. So it will come new problems all the time. So don't worry about solving all of your problems, because if you're a pessimistic person, then you can always create new problems. But if you're I guess no matter who you are, there will come problems, but they will come in different ways. So you have material problems that we are trying to solve constantly all the time. I mean, that's something we're really working towards solving. It's feeding ourselves, it's having a comfortable sleep, it's having a nice bed that doesn't ruin your back, and these kind of things. So those things we are always trying to fix. But what we are forgetting about a lot of times while trying to fix all of these things is our mental states. So to progress in a mental way, to think, hey, maybe we should work on our self-esteem, if that exists. Or maybe we should work on our philosophy of life. Maybe we should fulfill our own potential in a way, instead of only getting lost in the materials of life. So, I mean, materials are very important. It's very important to have the materials set down, to be very comfortable and to have your life in order on an economical basis. That's very important, but it's not enough. It's not enough for existence. You actually need to fulfill yourself and be, and if your dream is to be a good person, then you need to work towards being a good person. For example, if you want to help a community, then you need to do active steps to do that, and it's not enough to just feed yourself and be in comfort, let's say. So that's of course very old story, very old tale of humanity that we're always trying to deal with, to not forget about being a unique person, or I guess a fulfilled person. But that will, to some degree, you have to be unique in order to self-realize, let's say. So this was supposed to be about winter skateboarding, Jesus Christ. Anyways, so winter skateboarding is rough, as we said, and it gives opportunities for creativity. All right, so creativity comes when you have an opportunity to solve a problem, and skating in the winter gives a lot of problems. I mean, you have to deal with snow, you have to deal with it being cold, you have to wear thicker socks so that it's harder to do tricks. So it's really a less efficient way to skate. It's much better to be inside of somewhere where it's warm and where the objects are suited for skateboarding. But then again, efficient skateboarding is really tackling nasty conditions. So if this is why this is a problem, that it would be more efficient to make the environment perfect for yourself. But then again, that takes away an essential part of skateboarding, which is dealing with inefficiencies. So for example, there's snow on the ground, there's snow on the spot you're trying to skate, so you overcome that problem, you overcome the inefficiency. I mean, you don't just wipe away the snow and make it clear and perfect to skate, you actually manage to maybe slide on the snow or jump over the snow, or even get your grip ruined by the snow. The snow goes on your grip tape and becomes ice, and then you still have to do a trick. So that's actually what skateboarding is about. It's not efficient in the traditional sense of the word. So riding on ice is not the best way to do the best skateboard tricks, let's say. But then again, it maybe is. I mean, maybe you can't do technically the best trick, like you can't flip the board around as many times, or you can't spin as perfectly as you would like in other conditions, but you get bonus points for doing something on a hard spot. So part of the trick is to roll through the environment that you find yourself in, of course. And that's interesting with skateboarding, because in most other endeavors, for example, I guess in other endeavors we also appreciate it. For example, let's say a rich entrepreneur who is a multi-billionaire. Alright? He's a rich entrepreneur. You have entrepreneur A and B. And number A, let's say, was grown up in the West and were taught at a very good business school and had a lot of opportunities given to him, and he wasn't told no too many times, and he got a lot of funding from his parents and friends or something like this. And then you have the other guy who don't know anyone, who don't even know English, who comes from another country where they didn't have English in school, and he didn't have any schooling, and he reached the same level. He's person B. So that guy will be, let's say, more appreciated because he had to struggle more. So I guess he's the person who struggles the most is often the one who is appreciated the most. I mean, when I say appreciated, I mean that they are respected more for what they have done. So this could also explain why people in the 90s who skated in the 90s who had a harder time becoming good, because the facilities weren't there, the community weren't there, and they didn't have people to look up to as much as we have today. Now the level of skateboarding is very high, and we are reaching a high level. When you see a person who's really good, then you know that is possible. But in the 90s they couldn't see how good Nugent Houston could flip the board, so they didn't really know how to stretch towards that. So it makes sense that they didn't become so good then. So in this kind of way, it's a little bit hard taught, but in this way we can respect people in the 90s a lot for what they did. Like it's not about what numbers you put on paper, it's about what you did for your time, let's say, and your situation. According to your situation, what did you do? So this is why a person who works in a little healthcare center, who people don't really know, can be a really important person for that healthcare center, but not for the whole world. He can be a very important person for just that healthcare center, and you need those people. You need a lot of those small people, by the way. But he's not he's not complained about it. They're not saying, oh, why aren't you more famous, why aren't you a bigger person, you're just here in the healthcare center. No, the people there in the healthcare center appreciate that person for the effort that he gives there according to his situation, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit complicated. I didn't explain it like I wanted to, but the thing is that we always relate how good someone is to something else. So we relate it to the current situation. Like if you win, that's why you can become really happy about winning a basketball game in your own neighborhood, but if you would try NBA, you would be crushed. I mean, you can win a simple game in your neighborhood, but not in the world tournaments. So, and you can still be very happy about it. So, and you can give huge value still. So, value is not really given just by skill. It's simply about being in the right place at the right time in a lot of ways. So, this is why when I say value, I mean that people pay attention to that person. People appreciate that person. That's what I mean by value. So, and a person without skill can be appreciated by other people just for being themselves or being inspiring or something. I mean, they don't need a skill. So that's something interesting, and it's a common complaint to say, well, he don't deserve to be where he is because he's not good enough. I mean, the person saying that can say that's true for him, but it's not actually true. By definition, it's true that an unskillful appreciated person deserves to be appreciated, because it's the people who appreciate this person who decides who they want to appreciate, and they are correct to appreciate whoever they want. So that is to say that that a person who just knows how to ollie, for example, if he's really appreciated in the skate community, then I would say he should be appreciated, because the skate community is the people who get to decide who will be appreciated. So that's a bit complicated said, but maybe it wasn't so clear, but I think it should work. Anyways, again, this was supposed to be about winter skateboarding. What is happening? So, winter skateboarding is very exciting for this reason that a 270 lip slide is good enough down a 2-stair because it's on top of snow. It's much harder to do. So, in this sense, you can see that it's much harder to do this kind of trick. So, if you can explain to people how hard something is, this is where camera angles and filming the ice and these kind of things and showing the grip tape is very important when filming winter videos, is to show the environment. It's very important to show what you're going through, all the suffering and terribleness. But then again, filming bonus clips, like filming small clips like that, like filming the grip tape and these kind of things, and filming how icy it is, and these small angles is much harder when it's cold. So you're less motivated to film these things. You would think, nah, fuck, I just skip it. It's too cold. I don't bother to do it. You know, in that kind of way. So that's the problem with winter skating, that we are less motivated to give a good product because our comfort is threatened to a larger degree. I mean, this happens in normal skateboarding too, but I guess in Phoenix, Arizona, then it would happen that people would say, no, I don't care to go and film this, or I don't want to film this extra angle of the clip because it's too warm. Alright, so the same problem happens there. That's a problem with warm places skating. So in winter skating, at least you get to have a clear head. You don't get to have that when you film in southern USA and Africa and Arabic countries. You don't have a clear head when you're filming there, unless there's a fountain or something you can bath occasionally in, because it's too warm. But when it's really, really cold, you still have a clear head. So that's why I enjoy winter skating. I mean, your feet gets really cold. Your toes are gonna suffer the most, I think. I mean, your body is gonna be warm, but not your toes. Your toes are gonna be cold. So that's very confusing. You get wet and sweaty and all of this in your body, except for the toes. The toes are gonna be really, really cold. But that also happens that you get sweaty on the toes, and then it freezes inside of the sock. So that's a huge trouble for winter skateboarding. But anyways, that's a little insight. It became sort of a ramble, so take that. And that's all. Ha det.